everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the brand new Transformers Studios series, Constructicon Scrapper. Our first Constructicon out of the 6 Constructicons to complete Devastator. I got Bone Crusher, and that figure was alright. Let's see how this one turns out. So without further ado, let's get started. Starting off with the packaging looks really lovely. Here we have our see-through plastic. Here we have a nice image of Scrapper in his robot form and his tractor mode. Right here we get Transformers Studio Series, Transformers the movie, Constructicon Scrapper. Right here we get a picture of Devastator. Looks wonderful. This is one of the 5 Constructicons. We have 2 of them now. Now we just gotta collect the other 4. Here we have product shots of Scrapper in robot form, tractor mode, and wielding Devastator's weapons. His little bio says, Scrapper is the engineer and designer for the Constructicons, combines with other Constructicons to form Devastator. So yeah, Scrapper being the leader of Devastator, it's very funny that he is the foot of Devastator. And this side of the packaging is just a continuation of this art. Here we get the Autobot logo right there. Here we get Transformers Movies, Transformers Scrapper. Right here we get the barcode. So without further ado, let's get started with the figure. Here we have Scrapper out of the packaging. And to put it in simple terms, Scrapper is literally a overpriced deluxe. This figure is so basic, so bland, but it looks really fun to look at and to play with. But this figure is just a deluxe class figure with Voyager class engineering.
So yeah, I know that there were some questions on why are some of them Voyager, why are some of them deluxe. Mixmaster is a Voyager because he's one of the feet, so we had to build in Ratchet so that he can have an ankle tilt when he becomes Devastator. So that's
what I mean by this is that it's short, but it has the engineering of Voyager class figure. And Hasbro did confirm why these figure and Mixmaster are Voyager classes is because they contain this ratchet joint. That is pretty much why, and it's mostly because he transforms into the foot of Devastator. But yeah, putting that to the side, I did want to show you the figure. The figure looks really nice, looks very accurate to his animation model. He looks really nice. I really do like how the silver that we get for the legs, the chest, and even the Decepticon insignia has some silver on it mixed with the purple. Looks wonderful. The head sculpt looks very accurate. The wheels look very nice. The body itself looks very nice. There's not that much kibble except toward the back, but mostly due to that, so I don't really mind. It's pretty obvious that there has to be kibble there. And overall, the figure just looks really cool, and it's really nice to look at. He has a lot of details on the legs. You can see right there. It looks really cool. He has like some cybernetic details, some just more sculpt work throughout the figure. It looks really cool, and the arms as well, they look really nice as well. So that's pretty much it for the figure. He does have some hollowness here at the feet and some hollowness at the arms as well. So that's pretty much what I don't really like about this figure. But other than that, this figure is pretty good. Now moving on to the articulation of this figure. The articulation is alright. This figure, despite it being a Voyager class, I'd expect it to have more articulation than it has, but first let's get started. The head is on a ball joint, so it could look up, down, tilt side to side, and do a full 360 if you wanted to. He has a neck joint as well. He has a hinge joint at the arm, so he could hinge up this way, back this way. He has a full 360 range of motion at the arm. He has 360 swivel at the bicep, little less than 90-degree bend at the elbow, and no wrist rotation despite this being a Voyager, but he could move his hand inside the body, but mostly for transformation. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And no waist rotation, so you can't really move him around in dynamic poses that much. He does have a hinge joint, a swivel joint at the leg, so he can get up to this far, back this far, hinge joint at the leg, so he could do the splits. He has thigh rotation right here. He has 90-degree bend at the knee. He does have an ankle pivot, and I believe he has a backwards toe or foot pivot. So overall, this figure has some basic articulation, yet is missing some of the most known articulation that every figure should mostly have. This figure has 3 accessories, one being his main blaster, which is small. It's painted in black or sculpted in black, looks very nice, cartoon accurate. And then these 2 larger blasters, which could be held individually or combined to form Devastator's gun. So this is pretty much Devastator's gun in this purple color. Looks very lovely, and I think it is Blast Effect compatible. But overall, You could literally deck this guy out with the guns and have him ready to take on the Autobots. Starting off the comparisons, first, let's bring in our Studio Series Bone Crusher. And Bone Crusher to Scrapper, they're near enough the same size. In fact, Bone Crusher seems a little bit bigger than Scrapper, but that's mostly due to the proportions of his body being a little chunky robot. We can see Bone Crusher is a little wider than Scrapper. However, as far as height is concerned, they're around the same size. So yeah, Bone Crusher had less engineering than Scrapper does, so that pretty much kind of justifies the price point. But other than that, here is both of the Constructicons that I currently have at the moment. Here we have Wild Rider next to Scrapper, and Wild Rider to Scrapper, I feel like the scale is somewhat accurate. However, as we do know, Scrapper is a Voyager, Wild Rider is a deluxe class. We can see that the Voyagers are slowly shrinking, which is quite unfortunate, and I don't like them being so small, that we're paying for more engineering and less for size. I mean, I do like the engineering in the figure, but I just really wish this figure would have been bigger or the price would have been lower. Tell me your opinion on this. Here we have him next to the 86 Bumblebee, and Bumblebee being something similar, this guy is incredibly small, but he has a lot of engineering packed into him to transform him. So yeah, back on my earlier point, the engineering, we're paying more for engineering and less for scale. Here we have Deluxe Class Jazz, which is smaller than Scrapper, and we can see that this scale is probably accurate from a Voyager to Deluxe Class scale. Here we have our dead version of Ironhide, and I really like to bring this figure out also because this one is also a deluxe size Voyager, but we're paying for engineering. And I do like bringing this guy out with the Constructicons as well, because the Constructicons and Megatron Starscream are the ones who ended these guys' lives, and I just really want to collect all the Constructicons and Megatron as well to recreate that scene, as that would be really, really cool. But yeah, here's how Ironhide scales with Scrapper. Here we have TF1 Optimus Prime, Coronation Starscream, and finally, Commander Class Optimus Prime. Now, Scrapper's transformation is very, very simple, so I'm going to walk you through it, similar to how I did with Bone Crusher. So the first step you're going to have to do is you're going to take the chest region, you're going to open it, put the head inside, close the chest region. Then you're going to turn your attention toward the shovel right here. You're going to extend the shovel all the way and just leave it right there. Then you're going to bring this piece down like so, make sure it clicks, and there's this tiny little green piece right here. You're going to attach it downwards, just focus it on the camera right there. You're going to attach that downwards, tabs in very nicely right there. Then after that, you're going to pay attention to the arms, you're going to tilt them upwards and then tilt them downwards like so, so the tab taps in right there. You're going to do the same side on the other arm right there. You're going to rotate the elbows backwards like so. Then you're going to fold the arms in so that it taps into this little slot. Do the same process on this side. Fold the arm, fold the hand, tab it in. Just like that. Just make sure it aligns properly. It's kind of hard to do sometimes, but you just attach that. Then you're going to turn your attention toward the legs. This part is very, very simple. You're going to detach the front piece and the back piece from the leg. So just detach it like that for extra clearance. Then after that, you're going to attach both pieces of the thick part right here, which is also going to transform into Devastator's base for the leg, but we'll touch base on that later. Then you're going to attach this right here, downward like so. Then you're going to rotate this piece right here so that the cockpit is facing forward. Then attach this. Then bring these pieces down with the feet as well. Bring those down. And just make sure everything tabs in place, and there you have Scrapper fully transformed into his bulldozer mode or tractor mode, however you like to call it. And honestly, the tractor mode is really, really nice. It rolls really nice. The wheels are unpinned, so that's very good. It rolls nice. The details that we do get as far as the little ladder, it looks really, really cute. Looks nice. We get some details right here at the top as well. Look very wonderful. Unfortunately, there is no Decepticon insignia right here, as the actual model of the figure of the CG render and also the animation model of the original 80s toys does have a Decepticon logo, but it's quite unfortunate right there. But I'm pretty sure there's decals somewhere on the market to buy something. Other than that, yeah, there's nothing really to be said about the figure. It looks really cool in its tractor or bulldozer mode. But as far as like what the main thing is for, it's for Devastator. So we'll focus on that later. But first, I want to bring in our Bone Crusher figure for a comparison. And Bone Crusher to Scrapper, the scale, they're near enough around the same size. Bone Crusher is a little bit taller. but Scrapper is obviously wider. Scrapper has more engineering involved than Bone Crusher did, so that's pretty much why the price point, as you said earlier. We could see that Bone Crusher and Scrapper, this is how they scale. I think they scale accurately how they show up in the G1 cartoon. And I think this is a really, really great start to Devastator, as I will be collecting the Commander class pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. But overall, yeah, that's how Bone Crusher and Scrapper do scale. Now, as far as Scrapper transforming into the leg of Devastator, I'll walk you through it as well. So the first thing you're going to have to do is get the shovel, turn this all the way like so. Then you're going to deattach the arms from the body, just deattach them right there, deattach them. Then you're going to rotate the entire arm backwards like this, do the same on this side, backwards like this. Then this tab on the purple piece is going to go into the slot on the green piece, so you're just going to simply attach it right there. Then you're going to do the same thing on this side, attach that right there. And then right here we have him standing. Then you're going to turn your attention toward the legs, unfold this region, then you're going to unfold this, turn this around, and then there are two little tabs onto the cockpit and two little slots on the legs, so you are going to attach both of those pieces together. So just attach those like so. Then you're going to put the feet back where they were. And there we have Scrapper fully transformed into the leg of Devastator. Honestly, there's nothing really to be said about the leg either. It looks cool, but mostly we're just waiting for the component for Devastator to combine. But overall, yeah, what Scrapper's going to do essentially is these little tabs right here are going to tab into the leg of Devastator, as many of you already know. And we just need Mixmaster and Scavenger, and pretty much Devastator is complete. For comparison, I did want to bring in the arm for Devastator. Obviously, the arm is not finished. There is a missing piece, which is available with the hook and long haul 2-pack. But overall, I did want to show you how this scales. So they scale near enough the same size in terms of height. As far as width, they're obviously different. Bone Crusher is a little bit, I think, a little wider, especially considering that Bone Crusher has a lot of mobility. Speaking of mobility, that also reminds me that Scrapper does have an ankle joint right here for Devastator. So he has that. It's a ratchet ankle joint, mostly due to the fact that Devastator is a very hefty figure, very heavy, and you really need a strong joint for the big figure. But overall, yeah, that's how it looks. And speaking of Devastator, I did want to bring in the gun as well. I did touch base on this earlier, but yeah, this is the gun for Devastator. So yeah, near enough we have most of the pieces already here. We just need the Commander 2-pack and the other Voyager and Leader. The other Voyager and Deluxe, and then we basically have Devastator complete. So yeah, if you want to create some funny thing, here you go with an art of a handless Devastator, but with the arm. But yeah, pretty cool. So some final thoughts for the Transformers Studio Series Voyager class Scrapper. Honestly, this figure doesn't really seem like it's worth the Voyager price. What I mean by that is that there's a lot of hollowness and not that much articulation that I really wanted. It has the basic ones, but it doesn't have a waist swivel. If it had a waist swivel, maybe the figure would be better, but I kind of see why they did it, because they have to make it for Devastator's leg. But other than that, I feel like the figure is a really, really cool figure. It's fantastic.
Say that again?
I do enjoy the weapons that it comes with. It looks really nice. The details, and I do love the paint that we get included on the legs, and the chest piece painted in silver looks very phenomenal. The wheels are on pins, which is very good. I really do like that. There was no Decepticon insignia on the shovel. Not really a big deal, but it would have been cooler if there was one. But other than that, it's pretty cool. And scaling him along with other figures, other G1 figures, I feel like he scales very, very lovely with a bunch of those figures. And I'm really excited to bring more figures into the review station. And yeah, I'm pretty hyped for Devastator, and I really hope that Devastator is going to turn out really, really good. So that about concludes my video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. I'll see you guys at the next one. In the words of Optimus Prime,
transform and roll out!